Persida come over, and so should I leave the part out about how he was going to kick my dog?
No, please do tell.
Yeah. So, after everybody calms down and they go to pray, and immediately they kind of turn into, and it's not that they were being different than who they normally are. It's just the side of them that I have never experienced, because I've never, been to church with them, or we've never been in ministry together. So I know them as my uncle and aunt, and it's like I've never really had an opportunity to know them in that way. And it's like I never really knew who I knew, because they're sort of like the big dogs. They're like the big dogs in ministry. And what I mean by that is, like, when they started praying, they were, Titi Pesida, she comes over and we're all holding hands, and she's pretty much praying for the family. She's praying for the peace and the joy, and for the chemo to work, and rebuking fear and stuff. But then while she was praying that, then Theo Paul just kind of came quietly in, and he just put his hands on my forehead, and he just began to, like, rebuke cancer and rebuke sickness. And it was weird, because even though I've been prayed for before, and I'm familiar with that experience, it was just, there was something unique about it, in that I felt that he was literally standing, on the front lines, like being willing to put himself in harm's way to come against this thing, and like it wasn't, it was, I felt that not only was he coming against it, but that, like, it had no choice, like it couldn't hide. Like, he was literally speaking to it, and he was addressing it. It was like, no, you have no choice. It could not hide.
Wow.
He was going right for the root of the issue. And I felt that it was like, it wasn't anything that was done out of emotion. It wasn't anything that was done out of, loudness. It was like, just such a strength that came. It was like a stream, like an old stream that runs, like, deep under the earth. And it was like they were pulling from this reservoir of truth, and it's their reality. It's like what they know, and it just flowed out of them.
And years of experience.
Years of experience, and it's like they were trees, like they were trees, and they're so deeply rooted, they were able to get from this stream, and like big grand oaks, and it was just so amazing. It was there was nothing pretentious about it. It was so powerful, so real. So then, as they were praying, let me see, as they were praying, so then she was mostly praying in English, and he would pray in Spanish, because he started sort of rebuking things or whatever, and she was speaking to the family in English, which I also thought was another part of their wisdom, because he speaks more so in Spanish, and she was translating, or not really translating, but more so kind of praying almost some of the same things in English. So then, that went on for, a couple minutes, and then after they finished praying, he just, like, silently, like, kind of quietly to himself, started humming a little corito. And so he was, like, singing over us, and,
wow.
It was just so, it was so free. It was just like they were just moving, moving in this vein, and they were just such like a team, and I'd never seen them, and it's like it came to, it's like, out of all the years I've known him, I just now realized what all the hoopla was about.
Wow. You're like, wow, they do have something going on there.
Yeah, it was just kind of like knowing a millionaire and never seeing them do their millionaire thing to earn their money,
Wow.
was like, I've known that they've had a lot of respect in the Christian community for a long time or whatever, and I'd never known why. It was like I have a newfound respect and gratefulness for their ministry, for who they are,
and first-hand experience. Because I think, like, you probably experienced something even more personal and more. Yeah. But go ahead.
Yo estaba diciendo que even when they're praying for people in a service, and they're praying for multiple people, I think that they haven't even been able to experience what you experienced in your home, in the intimate setting. Like you said, their experience, spirituality, power that comes from God focused on you.
All on me.
When they were like, okay, God, tell me about what's going on with this person. God, tell me what else. But that's that focused,
right?
Prayer and battle, and it was like
wow.
Like even in a war, the commanders telling like all their lieutenants, okay, first you take out, these houses, and then after that you got to go to this part And you got to look at the ditches and make sure there's nobody there. Or then you look for grenades or whatever. And it's like you said, there was those different levels of the
Yes.
prayer and the singing and
Yes.
the atmosphere. It's like there was a plan of attack.
There was.
You know.
There was like and yet they never spoke. They never spoke a word about it to each other. It was just, this is what they do, and they just understood that about each other. And it's like,
The flow.
it was really like it was a brilliant thing to behold and a humbling thing to be the recipient of, and I was just so blowed by them. And then when we talked to Naomi today, Naomi was talking about, my mom was saying that Betsy that had called her, and this is to me, another testament to who she is that she was telling Mom how she was having such a great weekend, and Mom asked her why, of course, and she was telling her because she had heard from myself, who she's been praying for, because I, called her just to tell her, what was going on with me, all the revelations and little breakthroughs that the Lord had given me, especially that last deliverance that I had. Rosie called her out of the clear blue sky, and she had been leaving messages for Rosie. And Miriam, not Miriam, our cousin Eileen, who, I don't know, I guess she's going through some things, but her and Bessie that have counseled with one another, in the past or whatever, and she ended up calling her. So she heard from three of her nieces,
Wow.
And I guess, as a minister, that means a lot to her because, she loves us as family, and it's also, it's the fruit of her ministry, so
That's good.
it was just really awesome.
Beep.